You see Jean-Emmanuel Deprat, he knows the only pause here, the only thing has changed after this attack is that treasure token was made, which means
Yep.
my Hinata is not long for this world.
All right, what's up, my friends? Welcome. It is Deck Tech time for the decks that I went undefeated with at the Kamigawa Neon Dynasty Championship in the Swiss. Top 8 was a different story. We don't really talk about that. It's not a big deal. And so I played, it was an Alchemy and Historic tournament. This is the Alchemy deck. I think Alchemy is a really fun format. I know the economy sucks in Arena. I know, I get it. But Alchemy is really, really fun. It was the highlight of a tournament for me, honestly. And I played this really awesome Grixis Midrange deck. Now, the core of this deck was based off of the Rakdos deck that I qualified with. But I teamed with Andrea Mengucci and his open team for this event. And when I joined the Discord, they had this deck very similar to this already built. And this is a really, really cool addition here. It splashes blue, and it adds in 4 copies of Kaido Shizuki. Really, really good Planeswalker in a really, really good shell for it. So 3-mana Planeswalker, when it ATPs, it phases out for 1 turn, which is awesome. So it just goes away. It's very easy to protect. +1, draw a card if you attack this turn. If not, loot. -2, make a ninja. And ultimate's basically worthless. But what this is a really good snowballing engine. So get this thing in play, you kind of kill things, attack once a turn, draw 2 cards a turn, and go from there. And the biggest difference between this deck and the Rakdos deck that I played to qualify for was that was more of like a Jundi 2-for-1 deck. Just like 2-for-1 value, 2-for-1 value, everything's a 2-for-1, and then you win the game later on. This is more of a snowball deck. This is more of an engine deck. And what does snowball mean? That means that it tries to get a threat online that gains more and more advantage as the game goes on. So once you're ahead, it really goes ahead, and you keep getting more and more ahead, and so on and so forth. And this deck has 3 really good engines. So of course, Kaido is one. The other big engine and the breakout card of the Pro Tour was Fable of the Mirror Breaker. 3-mana enchantment, it's a saga. And this card is just a sick amount of value. It looks a little like slow and weak at first glance because no part of the card individually is particularly amazing, right? So chapter 1, you get a 2-2 goblin that whenever it attacks, you make a treasure. So for 3 mana, not really worth it, you know? The backside here is a creature. It's a goblin shaman with the Kiki Jiki ability, but doesn't have haste and costs mana to use, which is, you know, it's fine, but not really worth 3 mana. And then we have the middle chapter, which is discard 2, draw 2, which you can do. Also not really worth it. But the thing is that when you put it all together at once, this is an amazing deal for 3 mana. For 3 mana, you get 2 must-kill 2/2, so 4 total power over 2 bodies, and then an insane engine as well, because if Reflection of a Kiki Jiki ever lives, you can copy all of your good creatures. So this deck has a lock in it, where you can copy City Stalker Connoisseur in their draw step every turn, and whatever they draw, they have to discard if it's on an instant. So this card's already really, really good, and now we have this sort of soft lock in the deck. Copy Town Razor, hit all of our lands. Copy Blood Tithe Harvester to kill a creature immediately, make a blood, which is awesome. So really, really powerful in the deck, and it's really, really good card overall. And the third engine is Raidilda Wanted Cutthroat. Robber of the Rich-esque. It's 2/2 first strike for 2. At night, it has double strike. Basically, whenever it hits your opponent, it always hits a land, because it's digital only. And you can cast that card this turn if you attacked with a werewolf. So it's important to note, you attack with this, get a card, they kill it on their turn. When you play a Trespasser later on, you can use that Trespasser attack with it and get the card anyway. So it always gets a spell, which is awesome. And same idea. You play it on turn 2, you kill their blocker, you get in, start drawing cards off of it. So another snowbally effect. Very powerful card. You do board it out on the draw sometimes, but very, very powerful card. Very, very powerful card. So those are your engines. Rest of the deck is just good, efficient removal spells and good threats. So we have, Duress, very spell-oriented format. We were very, very concerned about runes, as everyone else was going into the tournament. Flame Bust Bolt, Voltage Surge, pretty cool with your blood tokens to kill larger things. Power Word Kill, Abrade, a lot of value against Ani, Cult, Anvil, and Key to the City, or Key to the Archive, or whatever it's called. And then we just have some good creatures here, and Harvester's just great. You can't Vanishing versus it. It can kill things, attacks for 3, makes a blood, which is awesome. Trespasser's great, a little graveyard hate, little life gains, awesome. And of course, Connoisseur, one of the best cards in the format. It's basically a 3/3, it comes into play. It Thought Seizes their best card, makes a blood, and it's a great blocker, which is awesome. 1 Storm for more Planeswalker action. 2 Town Razor was my deviation from the pro teams list. They did not play Town Razors. I played 2. I wanted an extra card to copy off Kiki, that's good. An extra card which is good. And then also, it's just a very good card against the white decks, because you can play it, hit their creature land, and then have a good blocker as well. So it's able to be kind of card advantage in that respect. More of a utility card in this deck than like a full-on threat. Only playing 2, but still very, very good. Now, the sideboard is where we also gained a lot of ground with blue. Blue Splash is super easy. Put some pathways and some coasts, and of course the deck also just loots a lot as well. Our blue cards here are Annul, which is primarily aimed at the Runes matchup, which of course got crushed in this tournament. And countering Shadow of Skulls was very, very important. But I also brought it into other spots too. I brought one copy in against a control deck, and I countered a Key to the Archive, which is great. I can counter Medic Massacre also. So Annul is solid. Duress is obviously great. When it's good, it's really, really good. Stroke's a big one too. Against the control decks, the kind of mid-rangey mirrors is a way to counter their big things. Again, having a mid-range deck have the ability to counter spells is really, really good. Is really, really good. So Stroke was excellent. Soul Transfer was also excellent. I wish I had two. This was phenomenally good in the in the mid-range mirrors. Being able to handle Planeswalkers, being able to exile things, and not hard to get both effects with, your Medic Massacres, your Fable the Mirror Breakers, Blood tokens, Treasure tokens. So really powerful card. Wished I had two, based on the metagame being some mid-rangey. Scavenger was a card I wanted in the sideboard to have a life gain source against the Anvil decks. We thought the Sacrifice Anvil decks are going to be a lot more popular than they were. That was our concession to that matchup. It wasn't very good. X-Sorin, more life gain, more control stuff. Mind Flare is a big one. A very, very good card against Runes, and a very good card against White Weenie, because they can't really kill it. So it's a mind control they can't really kill. And of course, if you're a copy of this card with Kiki Jiki, you're really, really happy. And of course, the last card is Medic Massacre. This card, it's funny. It's obviously good against the white decks, but it was more on the board for, again, the Anvil matchup, which is like the one thing we missed on. The deck was not very popular, because we wanted a way to make sure if they had a Massacre in play, we could negate it, and they couldn't just drain us out of life. So, but obviously ended up being very good against the white decks as well, so it was really good. So that's the deck. I still think it's a great choice. I did lose all my top 8 matches. Very, very thin margins. I lost both 2-1. All the games were really, really close. My match video will be tomorrow on Twitch and on YouTube as well. Look for that. But deck's super good. Deck's really, really fun. If you like Alchemy, want to give it a try, give it a spin. And thanks for watching. I appreciate it. Also did a cool stuff video on this one, so you can go watch that as well. Look for more content on it too. I'm Jim Davis. Thanks for watching. Appreciate it. Like, comment, subscribe. Do all the shit.